Well.
We meet again, sir. Happy New Year's Eve, my friend.
Happy New Year's Eve, buddy. Happy New Year's Eve to the hardcore workers out here joining us today, man.
I like it. I like their style. And yeah, we had me and Jade had a moment where we are an hour away from New York, and we're like, it's New Year's Eve. Like, what's going on, right? And it also happens to be our wedding anniversary today.
Oh, that's
And
right.
yeah. So we're like, should we? No, we should not. Not even going to get close. That being said, everybody, welcome to Grow. Welcome to your checkup from the neck up, your morning power up, and we are so excited to be bidding farewell to 2024 and saying hello there to 2025. Man, oh man, Kyle, as you reflect, real quick before we get into material, as you reflect on 2024, is there one, two, three things, like just off the top of your head, that you're really proud of? Because this hasn't necessarily been the easiest year for
Mhm.
growth and real estate and the whole thing. Is there anything that you're really proud of, man?
Man, I've been on a health journey for a couple years now. So I think the continuation of that, hitting new boundaries or barriers or whatever, breaking through those things and staying the consistency, right? It's like I've really changed my identity at my core, my self-image of who I am and how I show up. And that's one of the things I'm really proud of, dude. Business wise, when people are getting out of the business, when people are um, having their worst years ever, we've been foot on the gas, man. You know, me and you collaborating to start this expansion project and having that up and running in the next couple days here, all the approvals, like I'm super proud of that. Like looking in the face of the storm and charging through it and saying, what if, instead of, oh, that's not going to work.
Yeah, I completely agree, man. And I got to give you kudos. Not only have you had the health journey and
Mhm.
the results of it, what you've also done is identify your maybe shortcomings or old bad habits or whatever it
Sure.
is. It's like if I let myself get in this situation, I know that I will fall further and further. So I'm just not going to let myself get there.
Mhm.
And I love that. I actually used that example not too long ago with a client. Man, I would say I'm going to go a different route, buddy. It's something that you had already been focused on for years and years. This year was the year that I really leaned in to being a family man, and it was awesome, dude. Like zero regrets. You know what I mean? Like it kind of took the summer off. It like
Yeah.
full disclosure, everybody, and sure, maybe we didn't sell the number of homes that we could have.
Mhm.
And yet my bond with my family is so tight right now. Like it's unbelievable. And now that that's tight and that box is or that cup is full, we get to really focus on work and the expansion and everything that we've got going for 2025. So, man, growth in so many different arenas. And we trust that as you spend this evening falling asleep before 9 p.m. or staying up till 3 a.m. and the new year, whatever it is, we trust that you're going to take a few minutes and really be proud of some of the things that you accomplished in
Yeah.
2024. Don't lose sight of your growth opportunity and your focus for 2025. And hey, a goal without a plan is just a dream. Put some feet to those prayers, put some tactics behind everything that you're doing. And let's make 2025 one to remember. It's the year of 40 for me, my friend. Stop with the facials. Stop it. Stop it. No. We're gonna have a good year. A good year. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into this so he can stop picking on me. Kyle, what do we have for these amazing human beings out there today?
Guys, we're talking about wins, right, from 2024, and that's all good. You know, I want to make sure that you guys don't just look at the gap, make sure you look at the game, right? What did you accomplish and all that? And because of one of my main foundational principles that I've adopted and made my own is consistency, we are going to stay in growth and consistency, and we're going to continue on today. Today is a work day for me, baby. We are going to talk more about this book that we've been going through, John Maxwell's The 16 Undeniable Laws of Communication. Welcome back, Jack. We are on this one, man. This one is the law of collaboration, Marcus. when you went through this, right, and we were prepping, what are some of these beginning things that you were thinking about with the law of collaboration?
Um, it was humbling a little bit to go through this because I go back to where my ego started at the very beginning of my career.
Sure.
Let me break down a few things that he says. Some of your best thinking will be done with others, not by yourself. And as an entrepreneurial guy, and as a I can do everything kind of guy, that was like, yeah, I know it's hitting me a little bit deeper as I grow into my career. And we talk about this all the time. The best way to improve is to practice and to stay in that repetition, get more reps in. Having grown into that a lot more this year, I actually have coached up Hadley, my 7-year old. So she has now the mindset of like, if I'm not good at something, oh, I just need more reps. Like, and when your 7-year old comes to you and says, I just need more reps with that, it's like, yes, that's what I'm talking about. Because I had
Mhm.
never had that language at the beginning. And that goes to the law of preparation, which, we've gone over a little bit. And yet, guys, how are you preparing for 2025? How are you preparing for your tactics? What tactics are you taking? How are you taking all the noise that's in your head and putting it across the board in the year,
Yeah.
right? We did a sit down and I want to do X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z. Well, are all that going to happen at the same time? Or does that start in March and June and August and so on and so on? Write it down, make a plan. That way the noise kind of goes down a little bit. And then finally, Andrew Carnegie said, it marks a big step in your development when you come to realize that other people can help you do a better job than you do alone. Yeah, yeah. Ego's just like left the building completely. And I just, hey, can I have all the help, please? Please, everybody come save me right now because I want to be the best I can.
I've said it before, Marcus. I'll say it again. I'll probably say it to my dying breath. My life and my business changed when I started not caring what other people thought and I started raising my dadgum hand, man. Just,
Yes.
hey, I'm the idiot in the room. I don't know enough. What do you guys know? Help me. Help me. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of strength. It is literally saying, I refuse to fail. I refuse to quit. I will do whatever it takes. And that means asking others to help me.
And I know, man, there's people out there like, well, if I don't do it, it won't get done the right way. Well, I've got the answers. It goes back to, guys, it's not Friday yet. I think it's story time. Well, Kyle, why don't you tell everybody the story of the ox guess and all these experts and everybody and how they fell short?
Yeah, man, there was in this book, they tell a story. It's 1906, right? Back in the gap. And there was a scientist, and he's at this like livestock, like chicken and cow kind of convention little thing here. And they had a contest. And the contest was who can guess the weight of a fully butchered ox, right? That's a big animal. Who can guess the weight of it? They had 787 entries, 787 guesses. These guesses were from random people, they were from actual butchers, they were from farmers, lives, like literally people who should know the answer were all guessing. 787 guesses. All of them were wrong. Now, one of the guesses in the story tells was a scientist, and he was and Marcus loves this word, curmudgeon. He wasn't really a big fan of people. He's a big lone wolf solo guy, right? And he started thinking about this differently. He obviously got it wrong as well. He asked the contest people if he could collect all of the guesses, all of the ballots. And what he did was he looked at it differently. He didn't say, all these people got it wrong. He said, what if we saw the average of all 787 guesses? He took that, added them up, calculated the average. The average was 1 pound off.
Wow.
So the group mentality got so much closer than everybody individually. Guys, we've got to start collaborating with people, man.
It says in the book, success begins with we, not me. And I think that story articulates it very well. No one person has all the answers, and yet as a collective group, especially with the right minds in the right room, you can come up with the best tactics and the best answers. So the big question is, who do I need to collaborate with, right? And when you think about shared thinking, Kyle, shared thinking provides us several different avenues.
Yeah.
What did he say in the book, and what did we hone in on shared thinking?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's one of those things. Like you said, if I don't do it, it's not going to get done, or it's not going to get done right. I think the real truth of it, not my truth, the truth is it's not going to get done your way.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean it's not going to get done right or even get done better. And so, like, he lists a few things. The first one here, man, is shared thinking is faster than solo thinking. Guys, when you have people coming together in a think tank all rowing in the right direction, it's so much faster than you sitting there by yourself trying to come up with the answers. An example of that is years ago, my coach made me do a huge administrative task. Now, mind you, we had lyric. And I was like, that sounds like Lyric's lane. And she goes, yes, it is. And yet I want you to do it. I'm like, well, that sounds dumb. Just honest, right? And she was like, I don't care. And so I did it. It took me like, I don't know, 20 hours of like sweat and pain and just awful. And it was like a mediocre job, Marcus, at like, and I had worked.
Yeah.
And Lyric hit me, I was like, hey, she made me do all this stuff. This is what I came up with. This is how long it took. She goes, oh, bless your heart.
Mm.
That would
Mm.
have taken me 15 minutes at most. And I was like, dang.
Yeah.
Such a great point, man. Shared thinking is faster than solo thinking. There are people who do things better than you, think different than you. We got to start seeking that out.
It's so cool that she took you through that exercise early on, because a
Mhm.
lot of agents have never gone through that exercise themselves. With maybe they've done the paperwork, and they just, that's their world, versus having ever seen the leverage side of it. So while you had never seen you doing it, others have never seen the leverage side and what that does for time and the freedom of that and what it allows you to do. Because again, shared thinking is also more creative than solo
Sure.
thinking, right?
No
I mean,
doubt.
there's got to be, if I look at a problem, my mind only works one way. And yet, if I have 10 other people and they have different personalities and different perspectives and different backgrounds and skill sets and all, okay, well, in about a 10-minute span, we can figure out the most efficient way possible if everyone's open-minded. And I think that's huge as far as the box to check in this shared thinking concept.
I love this one here. He said, great thoughts are birthed out of many good thoughts.
Yes, yes. I love that, man. Great thoughts are birthed out of many good thoughts. Well, it also returns greater value. He
Yeah,
breaks
dude.
this down and he says, the greater value than solo thinking. He gives us three different ones. And it's good collaborators have an open mindset. They ask and answer questions, and then they generate ideas. When it comes to an open mindset, he mentions, when you ask, can I? The answer is almost no. When you ask, how can I? The answer almost always leads to yes. That's really cool, because it goes back to Alex Helton and his group during the COVID time. He set down his entire team. And at that time, I think he was around 20 people in his organization, maybe 25. And they beat their budget up because we didn't know what was going on, right? And they asked the question like, okay, yeah, sure, it's not possible, but if it was, how could we do it? And they surprised themselves with how efficient they became and how inefficient they had been running, while still like
Mm.
having crazy good profit and crazy good culture. And he was just like, man, this really helped us correct what had already been a good lane, because they were already number two, and yet that detail orientation sent them up to number one in the Nashville area.
It's just one of those things. It's like we get paid in direct proportion to the questions we ask of ourselves and of others, right? And so, like, I think having an open mindset and being willing to think of possibility, right? Give yourself the benefit of possibility, not the benefit of doubt. What happens? And that's a great example of it, man. What's number two?
Number two, good collaborators ask and answer questions. Woodrow Wilson said we should not only use all the brains we have, but all the brains we can borrow. And I was like, oh, look at that. Yeah, that's and here's the great thing. In both of our frames right now on this show, we have already proven that we are borrowing other people's brains and their thoughts and their ideas because every single one of these books are hours and hours, if not years and years of experience and preparation by someone
Sure.
else.
Good point, man. Great point.
By reading a book, you're actually collaborating with those people. When is the last time you really dove into a book that helps you grow? And when it comes to the ask the tough questions, what did you take away from that, Kyle?
Yeah, man, it's like we have to, and you've talked about this, guys, and you hear some of this stuff over and over and over again on the show because it's so foundational and important, right? We're going to say the things that work. It's asking tough questions of yourself, maybe your message, maybe your product, maybe your listing consultation. And one of the things, or some of the things that I took away and I plugged in here was, have I seen the speaker live this message?
Mm,
If I got on stage, Marcus, and was going to present to people and tell them how awesome raising sled dogs in Alaska is,
solid.
no
Solid.
one's going to listen, right? They're like, that dude is from Louisiana and there ain't a stitch of snow in a decade down there. Like, what are we talking about here? Can you bring authenticity, said another way, to your message when you're sitting in front of a seller? Are you able to speak from experience? If you're a new agent, can you gather stories, data, information about the process, about clients in the past, about things that have happened so you can talk about it? Have they seen you live this message? What do you think the next one is, Marcus?
I think for diving deeper into that, he goes into what do I not know about this subject that I need to know, and what a great question that is to ask yourself in any arena of life. Instead of assuming that you got all the answers, you got it locked in, and this is the best way. If you always stay open-minded to, is somebody doing it differently? Are people implementing AI into this? How can technology, shift this for me? What can social media actually bring to me? And then if I'll tie a bow on it, what is the one thing I would do to improve this presentation? What's the one thing? And no matter who you are, I always go back because I'm a huge fan, Mamba mentality. No matter how many championships and wins and scoring titles and all the things that he won, Kobe hired Tim Grover and they got down to the nitty gritty details. Hey, I went 7 for 11 in the game last night. How could I go 9 for 11? These two shots over here, I saw my angle into the lane was off. I need to, right? I mean, such minute details. Where are we getting into the details to go from good to great? And remember,
Yes.
good is the enemy of that greatness.
I love that, dude. It's spot on. It's like, let's go small. What is the one thing we can do to improve? I think too often we try to tackle the bear as a whole instead of, man, how can I trip this bear? Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. How
that
can I slow
easy.
this thing down for a second?
How can I slow it down? Guys, number 3, the good collaborators generate ideas. We have to be able to generate ideas. You are only going to have so much. Some of the things he talks about. The only bad ideas are the ones, and I love this, that die without birthing another idea. The only bad ideas are the ones that don't lead to more ideas. Like, dude, that is such a crazy different way of thinking about a think tank or with some collaborators or with your team or with your coach or mentors. Like, that's a solid mindset shift. And I'm going to keep that one forever.
Yeah, I always go back to whenever you and I have sat down to write material, whether it's you and me, you, me, and some guests, whoever it may be. If we spend 3 hours writing material, it is literally if there are 3 people in the room, you may look at that as 9 man hours. It's not. It's more like a week worth of collaboration and ideas and everything. So that hit home for me. And the team's best ideas added together will typically give you a breakdown or a breakthrough, I should say.
They might give you a breakdown too if you got the wrong team, buddy.
That's true. That is true. But it'll typically lead to a breakthrough. Oh, we could do that. Oh, that is the best way of approaching that. Well, and then they're like rabbits, he says in the book. Once you get a couple, they multiply.
Here's this little 3-piece thing that he wrote that I just loved, dude. It's ideas are birthed during times of collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
Ideas are proven during times of action, and ideas are improved during times of reflection. It takes all three, guys. They're birthed in collaboration, they're proven during action. We must actually implement, and then we have to reflect to improve them. Like, that's solid, dude.
I like the reflection to improve. I really like that one. We continuously say experiences are only worth having if reflected upon,
That's
right?
right.
So once you implement something new, go back. Did it work? How could we improve that a little bit better? Like, what were the good, bad, and ugly? Now it gets into kind of where it hits home in the
Mhm.
book. And Kyle, I'm gonna ask you to break this down a little bit.
Yeah.
I got you got 4 different categories. You know, all these ideas and everything. How's it help us at the heart of everything?
It's cool, man, because he gave an interesting perspective, which, he tends to do. It's why he gets to fly on his own jet. And it's everything he does has to check at least one or all of these boxes. And it's 4 boxes. Does it have heart? So does it touch people, right? Does it help? Does it give people something that they can think or do that improves their lives? Does it have humor, right? Does it make people laugh? Guys, the shortest distance between two people is laughter. Period.
Yeah, I agree.
Period. Like, think about that. Like, culture, creed, age, no matter what, the shortest connection point is always laughter, even if you don't even speak the same language, bro. And then the last one is hope. It's got to inspire them and help them believe in a better future. So, guys, when you're meeting with clients, like, are you touching these boxes? Are you bringing heart to it? Are you helping them with something? Are you bringing humor? Are you bringing hope? Like, is there a better future working with you as their buyer agent? Does it bring a better future? Is it going to be fun? Is it going to help them? Like, start thinking about this. And if your messaging doesn't have those 4 things, it's time to change your messaging.
It's kind of a value system for your messaging. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like we always compliment David Bernal. He's got his values firm in place so he can make quicker decisions easier. Well, if you've got these and you keep this mindset on all of your messaging is not only going to improve, it's going to come more natural. And then all of a sudden you develop a habit of focusing on one of the 4, if not all of the 4. And man, oh man, the results will soon follow. Um, there's a thing that not a lot of people like, and yet it's super important. Good collaborators give honest feedback. Honest feedback. I warn people sometimes in my world. Don't ask me a question that you don't want the answer to. Like don't ask me, because if you're asking me, I feel compelled to tell you the truth. And yes, I'll soften the blow, and yet the truth is still going to be there.
That's right.
Um, and man, yeah, it's great to have collaborators in my world that do the same thing. So let's get into this honest feedback. I'll give a couple. I don't see myself as others see me. And
Hello.
you never do. You never do. And then number 2, I don't see things as others see things,
Yeah.
right? I don't see things and I don't see myself as others see me or those things. And that's just a breakdown of perspective that we've gone into so many different times. What about a couple more, bud?
I think one of the things that I love is feedback is, and he says it in the book, it's a catalyst for improving.
Hmm.
Feedback is the breakfast of champions. I've heard almost all of my coaches say that. For Tammy Youngst, shout out, Mama T talks about that all the time with speaking, right? With coaching. Like, if you can't take feedback, if you can't get feedback, you will not improve, or you'll fizzle out, or you'll stay stagnant, dude. It's a catalyst for improvement. And I think the last one that we took away from this, and there was a few more, but the ones that stood out to us, good feedback is the best way to discover the best idea.
Yeah. Yes. Whenever I have bold coaches in my room, I
Mhm.
immediately I get so excited. I get so excited because no matter how well or how poorly I feel like I perform up there, they're going to give me some honest feedback
Yeah.
to improve, right? And I'm so excited when that happens, because you've got all your clients and you've got all your agents out there, and they're just taking you for whatever you're showing up with. And yet somebody who has either been on the road, knows the material, has been there, done that, the whole thing, to get feedback from them, outstanding. So if I'm a new agent out there and I'm looking to grow the fastest way possible, knock, 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 and say, hey, veteran agent, could I pitch you a 5-minute thing real quick? Could I show you the
Yes.
beginning of my listing presentation? Could
Yes.
I cold call or practice and role play with you for a month? Like whatever it is, when you can get humble, you can get successful. And I think that's the biggest thing and opportunity that a lot of us have. Oh, by the way, I said new agent. I meant any agent. I'm so sorry. Right? Because those megas out there are like, yeah, maybe call me. Hey, why don't you be calling some people? Right? Love you, mean it. And just because whatever you've done has gotten you here, that doesn't mean it's going to get you here. And
Yeah, dude.
we're really inviting you to step up in 2025. Let's go get this.
Man, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for an incredible year. We are 161 episodes in, including some random streams. And the only reason, literally, the only reason that we do this is you guys.
Yeah.
And so we're pleased that you're still hanging out with us, man. We're pleased that you're raising your hand for a morning checkup from the neck up. Stay tuned because we're going to keep bringing this thunder all 2025. We're lining up some guests because I don't know. There's this thing called the law of collaboration. Hello. So, guys, it's an honor. We're humbled to have to be here with you. Tomorrow, we will not be here because it's New Year's Day. We'll be with our families doing that thing. So, no grow tomorrow yet. What's that? Wednesday? Thursday? Be ready for the sauce. Be ready for the sauce.
Not everybody's cup, but everybody's got a bowl of gumbo, right? All right, let's get to it, man. Guys, have a wonderful New Year's Eve. We can't wait to see y'all. See you soon.